Well, hello there, I'm Tiana Megan, and I'm back with another video. Today I wanted to talk to you about what it means to decide who you are. Obviously, when we're born, we are given certain personality traits. I was someone who I like to think liked the color pink as soon as I was born because it makes me happy. I was someone who was already pretty quirky, pretty outspoken, pretty excited to live. I was also someone who had a hard time conceptualizing what I thought and felt, but that can also be what's the word? That can also be molded and shaped by your environment and your primary caregiver. All I'm trying to say is when we are born, we are given certain traits. Some of them are founded in school, are founded in our environments, are modeled, are learned behaviors, but we are born with some. When it comes to deciding who you are, that is a choice that you get to make every single day. Isn't that freeing? I find it is. I find that the fact that every day is a new day for me and that I get to decide that I am this as of right now, whether I was it before or not, gives me the utmost power and freedom to create the life that I deserve to have and live. And also, it lets me decide how I view myself and how I've decided that others view me too. So I'm like, oh wait, I actually don't have to give up in the hands of others how they're thinking about me or perceiving me. I actually get to decide this is who I am, this is who I am not. And in any given situation or time, I can actually decide that I want to create the habit of thought pattern of thinking that I am this and not this. It's really just a habit and a thought pattern that is repetitive in your mind. If you think that you are lazy, you will be lazy. If you have been told you were, it doesn't necessarily mean that you were. You're maybe exhibiting behaviors of avoidance towards certain tasks. But if someone kept telling you it over and over and over again, then obviously at some point you were thinking, that's probably who I am. If someone told you you were difficult or you were too emotional, that's probably eventually what you thought you were. But I'm telling you now that you can actually decide that that isn't you anymore. That isn't you anymore. And you don't need to hold on to frames of who you were in the past to base yourself off of that, because then you're only going to continue the same loop of thought towards who you perceive yourself to be. You can decide at any moment, I am actually someone very productive. I am actually someone who's very calm and very nurturing, someone who really thinks before they speak and really takes the time to process. And you can slowly become that, or you can decide I am that, and therefore my actions will reflect that no matter what, because I am deciding that this is my identity. Identity work is my favorite kind of work because it gives you the ability to not only experience things that you didn't think you could before that you want to experience, but it also gives you the ability and freedom to then act out almost like an avatar version of a self that you didn't think that you would get to be. But you are it because you got to decide it, or you get to decide it. You really do have that option and that choice. If you decide you want to be someone who is exceptionally wealthy, then you get to act that out within yourself. You get to decide, I'm going to think like someone who's wealthy. I'm going to research ways to be wealthy. I am going to be that, even though maybe my whole entire life that was not me. I am now, in my identity, someone who is wealthy, who experiences luxury, who experiences wealth. There's always a way to learn. I also love education. I'm a teacher. I think that learning is our biggest superpower, and educating as well, because, well, we need to educate and we need to learn. People need to be educating, or we need to be figuring stuff out. But to learn all of the ways in which you can become and be the thing that you want to be is empowering. And also you can unmask the layers that ever told you that you weren't those things in the first place. As a person born into this world, you are worthy of luxury and wealth. It doesn't mean that because you didn't experience it in the first years of your life because of the environment, the parents you had, etc., that isn't who you are. You are wealth in itself if you claim that label as your own. You can say, I was always wealthy, actually. I was always wealthy. I was taken care of. I was provided for. Okay, maybe I didn't live in a penthouse when I was 2 years old, but I was always wealthy because it's a feeling that I get to conjure within myself right now, and I get to accept that this is my reality now and will forever be and always has been. It's all you that's getting to decide what these words mean to you, what this identity means to you, what it means to experience the different things you want to. So if it's wealth, what does it mean to experience wealth? It really is you that decides who you are in every moment. I get to decide that I'm a fun, bubbly, loving girl in every moment, but I could also decide no one likes to be around me, I'm too much, I'm not enough. It is a choice at the end of the day. Yes, it wasn't a choice for you to have people tell you around you negative traits, because of course if you knew that you could choose, you would have chosen otherwise. Tell me again. If I was a certain age and I would have known that I could choose to have people not telling me certain things that I didn't like to hear, that were hurtful and harmful and not at all helpful towards my growing as a being and in my personality and my traits, then I would absolutely go back and hope to change that and tell them, stop telling me those things, because you're actually perpetuating it. You're perpetuating behavior. When we describe someone's behavior that we don't like, we're actually keeping that frame of them alive in our minds and in theirs. And they actually, as a child, if I'm going back to like my education degree and the psychology behind it, is that you are perpetuating behaviors in a child if you continuously label them with the same. Why do you think a class clown is a class clown? He's been told he's a class clown in every single class he's been in, right? So in every single class he's known that he acts out. You get to a class, and when I sub and I go in another class and the kid tells me straight up, you're gonna hear my name a lot because I'm the guy in the class who whatever acts out, because he knows, he's understood that these are the traits that get his needs met, which are often needs for attention or for connection, by acting out. And the adults around him have perpetuated the loop that tells him that he is the issue, he is the problem, he is the source of the chaos. And it is hard as an adult to not necessarily label the kids around us. It happens to the best of us, but your best bet when you're trying to rewire yourself or choose an identity for you that's gonna like work more in your favor and make you just happier overall, is to really look at and identify the different behaviors that you exhibit that you've now made your identity when they aren't. They're just behaviors that you exhibited, that you did, and that maybe someone decided for you that that was who you were. And you can go back and you can list them and say, okay, maybe I do this, and then maybe in the positive sense I also do this, and I've been labeled like this, but now I want to switch things up a bit. Now I want to be this, or I want to start to be compassionate towards myself for this trait that I have repetitively done on a loop, and I want to try to give myself a way to act differently and to decide of a different label for myself, because it might be harmful to yourself, and no one's going to do it for you but yourself. Once you become an adult and you're really in this position of, I get to create from here on out, what do I want for myself, who do I want to be, and how do I want to present myself in the world, what experience do I want to attract towards me? Because if I'm giving myself this label, like lazy, what kind of experiences am I going to be attracting towards me? What kind of things am I going to be living because of that I've attached to? And what can I do to change my image of who I am? And to me, a lot of it is just repeating the words that I am this now. I am this. Oh, I was doing that again. Yeah, but it's okay because now I am this. And I'm going to be trying to do this again. And wait, but it's always been hard for me to, yeah, but it's okay because now I'm doing this. I'm this. This is how I choose to see myself. Because every single moment, whether you had negative conflict, whether you had, you perpetuated that behavior, you did that behavior again and again, it's still a new moment again. You still get to start again. You still get to move from this space forward and think, okay, from this point on, I'm this. I've decided that I'm this. So I'm going to keep pushing it forward with this identity. And at some point you're going to look back and be like, wow, I really did let go of feeling like I was that other thing, and it feels good and it feels freeing and clear, and you deserve that, right? Everyone deserves to feel like the closest form possible to their true self inside, which is a wonderful being. You came onto this planet to experience love and light and great things in abundance, and you deserve to allow yourself to feel them for yourself, and that will come if you allow yourself to continuously give yourself the right identity, which are the positive traits. Of course everyone is imperfect and we all have things we can work on, but if you're continuously trying to work on yourself without letting yourself identify first with the things that you want to be, then you're gonna feel a little bit like you're hitting a wall a lot of the time, because those beliefs about you are so ingrained into who you've become, and you're allowed to change them at any point in time. Just change. I'm this. I'm this. Don't force yourself to act different, to this and that. Just try identifying first. I decide who I am. I decide who I am every single day, every single moment. I could have done something 5 minutes ago, and now I'm doing this, and I'm deciding now I'm this, now I'm this, now I'm this, now I'm this. Radical acceptance over the past, the present, the future, and now I'm this. I'm this. I'm this. I'm this. I don't even need to prove it. I know it. I am this. I hope you enjoyed this. Follow me on Only My Own Validation on Instagram. It's in the description down below. Let me know if you have any other questions or things you'd like me to talk about. I studied teaching, I studied screenwriting, and I'm just a lover of life, things pink, sparkles, my cat that I love so much. And I really like making these kinds of videos for everyone. And I really hope to see you again soon in one of my next videos. Bye.